Welcome into Arsenal Report. Viktor Gyökeres is just about ready to sign that deal for Arsenal, and some people have been wondering if in the final hour, will Benjamin Sesko and his agent push for that move out of Leipzig over to Arsenal, get Leipzig to cut that price from 90 million euros closer to that 70 million mark that Viktor Gyökeres is going to go for to Arsenal? And the answer is no. They are currently pushing for a move to the Saudi Pro League, which to me kind of tells you everything you need to know about Sesko and the way that this entire negotiation went down. It pretty much says to you that Arsenal came in and said, we want the player. The player is not willing to push for the move because he wants to go somewhere he's guaranteed to be a starter. Arteta will not guarantee anybody starter minutes. At this point, Kai Havertz is still the starting striker. And Benjamin Sesko said, I'm not going to push for a move. If it happens, it happens. Leipzig is unwilling to move their price, and he'll go somewhere where he feels he's going to play every match. Now, it looks like the Saudi Pro League may be that place, and we saw Hand of Arsenal report that today. To me, that makes a little bit of sense. Leipzig still do need to sell. Sesko could go to the Saudi Pro League, play every match next year, and then push that move to Bayern the year after, where he basically can just continue scoring goals and then probably slot in after Harry Kane leaves next year and become Bayern's main striker. But it just shows you why he's not an Arsenal player. Arsenal players are players who, number one, are going to fight for their minutes, who don't feel that they deserve more than what they are, and they have to prove that they are earning a spot in the team, and they don't have huge egos. And as much as I like Benjamin Sesko, the player, there is something about a player like Viktor Gyökeres basically saying, I'll do anything it takes to be an Arsenal player. And he's doing exactly that. And so that's how this project has always worked. That's how it'll always continue to work under Mikel Arteta. And hopefully we're going to see some positive results from that. But Benjamin Sesko to Arsenal at this point seems like it's next to no chance. And Viktor Gyökeres will be announced in the next day or two, maybe latest by the end of this week. And everyone's wondering what's happening with Noni Madueke. And is this deal for real? There's been a lot of conflicting reports. Some saying Arsenal are bidding up to 50 million euros. Some say Arsenal have bid 35 million euros. Some saying they've bid 43 million euros. Some saying that their valuation is way off from Chelsea, and so on and so forth. What I can tell you for sure is that Anthony Elanga going for 55 million to Newcastle is going to change the way Chelsea look at Noni Madueke and probably put this deal in a much more difficult situation for Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal are going to pay up to 50, let alone the 55 that Elanga went for. Him and Noni being the same age, Noni having a higher goal contribution season than Anthony Elanga. I think that makes it tough for Arsenal and Chelsea to get this deal done. What I will say is people look at one price and they make their decision, but the truth of the matter is that there's a lot more that goes into the deal. Madueke is a 50K per week salary. So him for 50 million on 50K per week would be the same price as getting a player for 30 million on 100K per week, right? Like, we're just looking at one aspect of a deal that actually has a lot more to it. Yes, Madueke, should he be amazing, his wages will go up. But at the same point, if he's amazing, if we want to sell him, his price goes up. So it kind of doesn't matter when you look at those prices. I think Madueke is still one where I'm not going to fully believe it until everything else kind of shakes out. He makes sense as right wing cover. He doesn't make sense if him coming in means no Rodrygo or no Eze. But one way he might make sense is if Gabriel Martinelli is sold this summer. And it looks like the Rodrygo deal is not dependent on Martinelli at all. It appears that we are moving forward with the Rodrygo deal no matter what. He's the number one target. He's where we're going to spend big money. But the likes of Madueke, we've talked about Eze, those players seem to be very reliant on what the sales will look like. It looks like Gyökeres, Rodrygo, Zubimendi, Norgard, Mosquera, Kepa, all going to be coming in no matter what the sales are. But the idea of Madueke and or Eze relies very much on potential sales. And I know for a fact that Gabriel Martinelli's future is very much in doubt at Arsenal. There is a very high chance that he is sold this summer if the right price comes. And I don't think that right price is necessarily the 80 plus million that some people think. I think anything in the 45 to 60 range, you could see Martinelli sold. I think there's a feeling behind the scenes that the way he's developed has stalled. He has not gotten better in the areas that people were expecting him to get better in. And because of that, the team is willing to sell him with the likes of a Rodrygo coming in and taking most of his minutes. Now, could Martinelli reach another peak at some point in his career? Yes. But I think the feeling behind the scenes is that peak is likely not to come at Arsenal. And I'm okay with that. Should that mean we get in 3 attackers and we lose Gabriel Martinelli? That's fine with me. And it also likely will mean that Leandro Trossard is on his way out. it appears that Trossard hiring a new agency is because he's trying to manufacture a move to Turkey where his wages can go up. He can guarantee himself a few more years of wages as Arsenal and him are far off on a new contract extension. And there's a real interest for him from Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, and other clubs in that part of the world. And his new agency has made a lot of deals with Turkish clubs, and it appears that they're going to be pushing for that move. So it looks like 3 attackers, maybe 4 coming in with the likes of Martinelli and Trossard going out. It's a huge, huge summer for Arsenal. So many moving parts. It's going to be interesting to see how that affects the way we play on the pitch early in the season. Can we get into a mode where we can have free-flowing attack where the players understand and know each other? There's a bit of a change of system coming in as well. So much happening right now at Arsenal, but all very exciting things as we kind of take this next step in the project. It would be a whole different thing, right? If we had one trophy the last 3 years, I think we'd be looking at this with a little bit less of a side eye and a little bit more excitement. But I think a lot of people are worried when all this goes down, what does this team look like? But if the answer is Gyökeres, Rodrygo, Saka is our starting front 3 with the likes of Havertz, Madueke, Eze, Waneri, Dauman as the rotation options, we're in a really good place to become even higher ranked in the world of football and to win some major trophies. So everyone should be excited for that. Everyone should be subscribing to the channel as we're doing daily updates on these transfers, and I'll keep you posted on what I know about what's to come for Arsenal. This is Arsenal Report every single day. New video, so make sure you're subscribed, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.